here with Jack Hammer. He is former radio DJ here in Fort Wayne, has been the executive director of the Three Rivers Festival for 10 years now, and all-around good guy.
Thank you very much, Doug. Thank you for having me.
Jack, no, thank you for having us here. It's a beautiful view. What can you tell us about where we're at right now?
So we're at the penthouse of the Three Rivers Apartments, built back in 1969. And this was the first luxury place to live in downtown Fort Wayne. So let's say downtown living started around 1969, and then it took about 45 years off, and then it came back strong.
Right.
And this was one of those first places, and it's a beautiful view. And I asked you here today to do this. This area is very important to me, and it's important to me because my family used to own this property.
Oh, wow.
We had the Purac Water Company, which sold distilled and bottled water that would go out into homes and businesses all over this area. And this is where our plant was located. So every day I have the pleasure of going to work in the same general area, the same property that my grandfather owned and worked at for many years. So here at the confluence of the Three Rivers is where we're located, and that it means a lot to me.
So how did you go from, dare I say, jovial radio personality here in Fort Wayne for many years to being a more serious, respected member of the community as the executive director of the Three Rivers Festival?
Well, he took my earrings out.
Okay.
Actually, after working for the Bear for many years, going across town and working for the folks that is now Adams Radio with my friend J.J. Fabini, and then going back to work with Billy at Federated Media, radio has changed in the last few years, and they were needing less and less people on the air. And so for the second time, not because of any terrible thing I've done, but they were closing a radio station, I had to make a choice. If I wanted to go to South Bend, I wanted to stay here, I wanted to get into sales. And so my choice was, no, I want to look for something else. Okay. We had worked with the festival for years when it came time to talking about music and music that we tried to get in. Back then, the festival was kind of the only place in town you were going to get those live bands in the summers. So I was in a meeting with that, it was in 2010, and there was doubt if we were going to have a festival that year. Some board members had left, they had fired the executive director, and it really looked kind of grim. And I was in a meeting, and I said, no, don't do that, move that there, don't pay those people, they'll do that for free, do this, do that. And at the end of the meeting, the president came to me and said, would you consider being our interim executive director?
Nice.
I told them yes. I was hired 30 days before the festival started. And so we went into 2010, maybe not as strong as we should be, but I want to tell you what, our hearts were in the right place and the excitement was there, and we had a great festival. And I then accepted the full-time director's position in September, and that was 9 years ago, and I didn't think I'd end up doing this. I saw myself as someone that could talk about the festival and be the face of the festival. Right. I never saw myself being involved in this much fundraising. You know, I never worked for a nonprofit before. So it was something that I've kind of had to grow into a little bit.
Right.
I would enjoy if we someday grew to the point where there was somebody that just took care of that development stuff. Mm-hmm. So what I could work on would be better programming, having the festival involved in more places, reaching into the schools with the festival and be able to offer Fort Wayne history and help keeping our history alive with those kind of things. But for right now, I'm happy to be where I'm at, and just so glad to be a part of something and be able to reinvent myself and not be a one-trick pony.
That's awesome. So this is your 10th year?
10th festival, 9th year.
Nice. Now, last year was a big year for the festival, as it was the 50th anniversary of the Three Rivers Festival in Fort Wayne.
Yes. And so it was back in 1968, actually, where they first started to talk about the festival. 1969, the first festival. And they got together and they wanted to see what was the best Fort Wayne had to offer. And they wanted to put it out for everyone in Fort Wayne and everybody in the area to enjoy it. And so it was in 1969 where we kicked off the Three Rivers Festival with our first parade. And here's something a lot of people don't know. Our first two parades were done on the rivers.
And actually
Yes, on the
Not
rivers.
along the river, but on the river.
On the river, it was we used a pontoon boats for floats, and it was a beautiful parade on the river, and we did that twice, and then we moved it inland because we love our rivers. My car parks 5 foot from the rivers, and but we could not always count on it on the river levels and things like that. Now, we've been able to change some of that over the years and be able to control that a little bit better. But yeah, first 2 parades on the water, and our first grand marshals were
Lifeguards.
John. That was great. That's quick. John Banner from Hogan's Heroes.
Okay.
Sergeant Schultz.
Oh yeah.
I know nothing. And the gentleman that played Barnabas Collins in Dark Shadows.
Okay.
Which I'm glad I wasn't here, because I think it was only a couple of years before that, when I was at my grandmother's house and Jonathan Freed would come on TV, I would hide behind her chair.
He's kind of a scary looking guy, wasn't he?
Yeah, he sure was. Okay. But a very nice guy. Mayor Zeiss was our mayor at the time, and I have pictures of Mayor Zeiss along with our grand marshals riding on a pontoon together and really enjoying Fort Wayne. And that's where we started off, on the rivers. So we're very happy with the riverfront and the growth that's going on here, because we've been banging the drum and we've had our roots in the rivers for 51 years.
So last year was the 50th. Pretty big task to top that, the 51st year this year. What special events, concerts, things like that, or are you looking forward to?
We're actually going back down. Okay. It just kind of made up the top of the hill. Yeah, I talk about something that we created last year that we're going to do this year. Last year, we decided for our grand finale, with our good friend Bill Bean and the people that make up the Founders Club that produce our fireworks each year. Last year, we did our finale from the top of 5 different buildings. And so it looked fantastic.
That was really cool.
Thank you. I've seen a lot of fireworks downtown, and there's not really that many times as a then 57-year-old man that I get to do fist pumps in the air. I was so happy. Well, we found out we kind of created something that we couldn't go back from. So this year, we're very proudly say, with Bill's help and others, that we're going to continue to offer that finale from the top of 5 different buildings downtown. Awesome. And that's something that we really, truly enjoy. Cool. We have great music and entertainment lined up this year. Things like Children's Fest, always there to serve the community. And this year, we brought in a new ride provider. We took stock of our rides that we had in the past, and they're very nice people, but we didn't think we were really putting our best foot forward. So we run around the country looking for someone that could deliver that kind of quality we wanted. And we found Kissel Entertainment. And when I first spoke to him, I said, since I can't deliver an amusement park experience, and he said, we are amusement park. We are a portable amusement park. And so their rides are sparkling. The people that work for them, they bring all their own staff in. We are very proud to bring Kissel to us this year. Awesome. And in fact, the first hour that they are open on Friday the 12th, all the rides are going to be free. So I guarantee you there's going to be some lines, but all the rides are going to be free for an hour. We have not upped the ticket price. In fact, we have some ways that people can spend around $15 and get an armband to ride all day. So that is something new for us, and we're surely looking forward to it.
Awesome. You grew up in Fort Wayne, correct?
Yes, I have.
So you've been here for, what do you say, 50-some years?
57 years.
57 years. I've been here for about 25. Grew up in Huntington. I've been here for about 25 years here in Fort Wayne. And I've seen, especially in, let's say, the last 10 to 15 years, a lot of change here in Fort Wayne, especially downtown. And now with the river projects and the GE project and things like that, just a lot of positive momentum. What would you say your favorite thing is about Fort Wayne right now?
I'd have to say the riverfront development. Okay. I mean, I think it's wonderful that our arts scene is growing. I think it's great to have a club as clean and nice and as respected as the Clyde is, to bring great music in. It's wonderful to see the industry and the businesses blossoming in Fort Wayne. But for me, because when I was in radio, we'd broadcast during the Three Rivers Festival from the Confluence. being part of this festival and kind of being the one to carry the torch. We've cared and loved for our river since 1969 and before. So when I see other people taking interest, I look at people like Dan Wire, that I call him Huck Finn, because he really is the river boy here in Fort Wayne. And then I look at the great thing that the Halls family has done to help bring people to the river. And I look at the things that the two of them have done as part of a catalyst for what's going on now with building and attention and with the promenade getting ready to open. Right. You know, we have a world-class park right there. And I sure hope that the existing people in Fort Wayne and the new people coming to Fort Wayne take advantage of that. Because when this city grows and people come to this city, where it's to buy a conventional house or come down here and be a part of this area, well, I'm proud of this. You know, this was my family's milk and honey. This is where we moved to make our life. So I'm pretty proud of it. And I think when people move in here, as people that live here now, the way we treat people, the way we act towards others, and the friendliness that we have here, I think we really have a lot to share with others. And hopefully we can instill that in those people that move here, and we kind of teach them that Fort Wayne way.
If you could share with the good folks where they can go for more information about the 2019 Three Rivers Festival, and also about opportunities to volunteer to help out with the festival.
Well, first of all, we're always available at 426-5556 to answer any questions. But if you want to jump on Mr. Interweb and go to threeriversfestival.org, everything is laid out right there. If you hit volunteers, we can show you where there's some opportunity to be volunteers. Usually, we don't have a hard time finding people that want to be bartenders. that usually fills up pretty quick. But our children's events, our events that happen along the river, with SDI, we do our free riverboat excursions, and that puts people on the river. And we've done probably about 15,000+ people on the river in the last few years, more than at any other time in our history. And we need people to help folks on and off boats. We're always looking for drivers and docents, and that's a great place to volunteer. And we ask people to volunteer with a friend. You know, go ahead and make that commitment, or call your friend and make that commitment and get signed up. And we have discount coupons for shows, and we have a wonderful t-shirt for you. We have a great party after the festival, and all kinds of fun things to be a part of. But overall, you're helping to put Fort Wayne's best foot forward this time of the year, which is the Three Rivers Festival.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Help support the community. Go on the website, contact Hammer himself, and get signed up. So, last question that I've got for you, Hammer. What is the one thing that you can attribute your success to the most?
Passion. Okay. Passion. That is something that it's hard to get every day. It's hard to, get up and either, ache when you're pulling yourself out of bed, or have a challenge in front of you that is something that you have to, they always say, take that bite of frog first thing in the morning if that's what you have to do. But I think it's passion. I care for the community. I care for the welfare. I love going down the parade route and seeing the kids lined up, maybe an American flag in their hand, or some Kool-Aid or whatever it is, waving and saying hi, because I think it really speaks of who we are. And that kind of helps refill that passion area inside of me when I see other people enjoying the festival. But I've got to tell you what, it's passion. It's not money, it's not fame. I come from a place where I'm used to getting a lot of applause, and I really feed on that. I tell you that honestly. But it's that passion to do the right thing for the community and be a part of something bigger than myself, and to be able to make a difference. Sure. And we all have a chance to make a difference in our lives, from helping people get into homes that they love, sure, okay, and that they can afford, and to help get them started in their life. You can be a part by making sure that the festival is safe and entertaining for a lot of folks. That's where I seem to get my passion from. And whether it is you're a nurse or you're the guy filling the pothole, approach it with passion, because just about anything else will wear off quickly.
I love it. I heard a saying recently, if you can, you must. And I think that goes along with passion. If you have the ability to do something, go after it 110%.
You are correct.
Hammer, thank you so
pleasure.
much for having us up here. Beautiful view, beautiful office. I hope you enjoyed getting to know a little bit more about Mr. Jack Hammer and the Three Rivers Festival. And we will see you at the 2019 Three Rivers Festival.